me, growing up in an immigrant household isn't easy. I often feel like I'm straddling one foot in the Canadian door, one foot in my South Asian heritage. And on this show, we talk about the mild, medium, spicy, all what it means to be Asian living outside of Asia. And we have some amazing actors, producers, directors, trailblazers, activists, you name it. We're going to be biting into that Asian experience. Okay, so guys, we just met. Let's do a little icebreaker game. Okay. So you guys are married 3 seasons in, but I want to know how well you actually know each other in real life. So we're going to do like people. We're going to do like a newlywed game, kind of like 3 seasons in. Okay. Okay. So try to keep count of where you are, winning or losing. Okay. So Andrew, where he's like
I'm thinking about it.
Deep into that. Yeah. Where was the first time that you met Rocky?
The first time I met Rocky was on the set of the Beaverton in Hamilton at that newspaper place.
Is that right?
Where is it? On set?
It was like that newspaper place that was a school lunchroom. We met on set.
No, we actually met. He's wrong. We met in the car because you were late. I remember.
Oh, on the way to set.
Okay, so 1 for Rocky. Okay, Rocky. Okay. Who is more of the neat freak and who is a slob?
I genuinely don't know the answer to that. Are you neat?
Do you want to take steal?
It would really depend on my mood. Like, because like I think I'm like chaotic in like my office, but my home is very clean.
Okay, so nobody gets that answer. Okay.
I think we have ups and downs with being clean.
Okay, so Andrew, who is more likely to be late at the party?
Oh, Rocky, 100%. Yeah. Most likely to be late at a party. And that's not like a diss. It's just like
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 point each. Okay, it's tied.
Okay.
Okay, Rocky, who is the better driver?
Also, I would just like to say fashionably late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not disrespectful late. Fashionably late.
Fashionably late.
Yeah. Okay, so not like Asian.
Brown late. No, let's just call it for what it is.
Okay, fine. IST.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, my turn. Yeah.
Okay, your turn. Who's a better driver?
I guess Andrew, just because like I don't drive.
Yeah, because I drive on a regular basis.
He has a car, so I'm just gonna assume he's a better driver.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait, I think now you have 2 and you have 1.
Sure. Okay.
Andrew, who is Rocky's celebrity crush?
It could like right now or like over time.
Like I don't even know who my celebrity crush is right now.
I'll say I think you like Steven Yeun from Beef.
Oh yeah, I like him. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Like some eyes, like Idris Elba. There is like no. Like I know
Rocky
right
is a person,
away.
like Rocky, like to me in my mind, like Rocky when like I look at like performers when Rocky like is a fan of their work as a performer, that like adds to the crush.
No, what if you like
mind.
who just want to like?
Just like what was this? Just.
Sorry, John.
Yeah, let's think about it. I was just looking at Nicholas Holt's Instagram very recently.
Okay,
he's fine.
Is that the guy from
the Great or whatever? British guy. He was on Skins when he was like super young.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought.
Okay, him?
Okay,
yeah.
So I think everybody loses again.
Yeah.
You guys know each other really, really well. Rocky, if Andrew had a superpower, what would it be?
To be everywhere all the time.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a good superpower. I get really bad FOMO.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have really bad FOMO.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, if Rocky was an animal, what animal would she be?
I would love to be an animal. I love this question.
I think you would be a...
He's going to get it wrong.
Oh, what? There's a correct answer?
She knows what animal she would be, of course. We know our spirit animal.
You would be a dolphin because you could explore the world however you want.
Water animal, really?
And dolphins are smart, and you could explore the world at your own leisure.
I can't make that sound really well.
Is that a seal?
Whatever. That's not the animal.
What would be the animal?
A monkey.
A monkey.
Mischievous.
Yeah.
Climbs up a tree.
Climbs up, always eating bananas,
and
throwing
cute,
the peels,
throwing their shit around at people. Okay. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. Who is likely to finish their food first?
Probably me.
I know. I could eat pretty hard. Like, I bang out a breakfast sandwich on set in like 2 minutes. So it depends. I think we both are capable of it. We're both capable of banging out a meal pretty quick.
Yeah.
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 I don't know who won like this game. I feel like you guys need to
But
spend
much-
more time with each other.
Much like an ideal marriage, there's no winners or losers. It's just you exist. You're together, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Togetherness. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Okay, let's move on from
How's
that.
that Momo?
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Andrew, we talk sneakers. Do you have
Yeah.
a holy grail like sneaker?
Um.
The latte chatte Jordan 1 mocha.
Yeah. No. I there's like no holy grail because like they're all kind of just in the world. Like I really love Jordan 1 Chicago's. I love Jordan 1s as a whole. The Kanye West Yeezy pack was pretty pretty big.
Really?
Yeah, but see, you're making that face because of Kanye West.
No, because they're ugly shoes.
Oh no, you don't. When Kanye was with Nike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
see,
This
so
is how much
look,
I don't know.
When Kanye was with Nike, when he had made late registration, the college dropout, he had a collab with Nike that is to this day still amazing, and so
Okay.
that would be like a grail
I will
of
take-
mine.
I'll take your word
They're
for that.
amazing. They're like, and they're so reflective of the time because like they're a big chunky sneaker that maybe doesn't play very much now, but it was so cool
Like
for the
those
time.
chunky. Have you guys seen those chunky red boots that everybody's wearing for a while?
Yeah, it's not like that, but
Okay.
it's a bit of a thicker shoe, but it
Okay.
was super cool. I think you were gonna judge me no matter what. You were gonna make this face already.
I'm sorry.
If you're listening, even in the questions, you mocked the answer that was gonna come out.
Zero poker face. I'm sorry.
I'm just
That's
glad
why-
you started asking me about shoes because I'm like, okay, now I have some time to eat.
Okay, so what's your vice? What's your vice, Rocky? Eating?
Pens. I love a good pen.
Ooh.
I really like good notebooks.
Do you steal hotel pens and notebooks?
if they're good?
Yeah, same, same.
Is it stealing? Isn't it yours?
Not a notebook. Not a
No, I
notebook.
think it is yours, right? Like
It's
you
yours.
paid,
You
for,
paid
the
for the room.
Not a notebook, but I'll steal
Such
a
an
pen.
Asian answer.
I'll steal a good pen.
Okay, I
Love a good pen.
saw a TikTok of you doing the worm.
Oh, I just rolled in the worm.
Like we got
On the ground?
we got
Really?
space. Okay, we have.
So the story
Can you
behind
do a
that,
small worm?
I'm gonna do this.
the story behind that was what we were filming that episode in season
Yes.
1 where Alicia, our director, kept being like, Andrew, do the worm. And I couldn't do the worm, so I did like a really
Yeah,
crappy
it was,
worm.
it was in the script that he does the worm.
Yeah.
Or something. Some version of the worm.
And then Rocky's like,
kept-
I could do a worm.
I kept low-key being like, I could do a worm. Just like, we'd be like, no, I could do a worm. I see it in the script, but, I go do a worm. And I keep, like, saying it, waiting for someone to be like, oh, right, blah, blah, blah. And then finally we're on the last shot, and I was like, you know what? I feel like this is my opportunity to do the worm. I've been trying to low-key tell everyone. Now I just have to say it out loud and claim my part, which is part worm, part monkey. You know what I'm saying? So
She did it.
I was like, can I do it? And she was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I did it, and everyone's like, no one believed that it was happening. Also, it was like my first season, so I feel like when I was on set, I was like trying to be really professional all the time and like trying to like keep everything together. So I feel like no one really knew me in like a deep, weird level, like the weirdo that I am. And so I remember after all the like hair and makeup people coming up to me being like, oh my God, we lost our minds. We were laughing so hard when you were doing the worm. Like, what is that? And I'm like, yeah, that's just me. Like, that's me, grade
it.
9 dance, warming it up.
So now season 3 in, that chemistry is obviously much more solid, and you feel like you can be you all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, I think after I did the worm, like everything, tides shifted. Everyone's like, who is this girl? What other dance moves can she do?
Yeah. Then we started writing them all into scripts.
I love it. Okay, so you guys do a lot of interviews. Is there a question like, what should we not? Is there a question you get asked all the time? And you're like, oh, fuck! Like, why did they ask me that? I don't like this question.
I don't know. I haven't been asked any like bad questions before. No,
No.
I don't think. I don't know. Have you?
I think it's not necessarily a question, but I find like the cultural angle is played often in the marketing of the show. And look, I'm
Well,
all for it. and we're but I think for me it's
As
like
we eat Indian food. And we're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I'm happy with this cultural moment.
but the cultural angle in the sense of just like, why should you watch this show? And it's
Yeah.
like, well, but like more so, I'm like, but it's just a great family.
Exactly.
In order for us to like I just it's the same way on Kim's. It's like this cultural angle was consistently played up, but like for me, I'm like, what made the Kim special was just the relatability, and the same with the fams. It was like for me, it's like just the relatability of the characters,
Yeah.
the situations they get in are reflective of many families of many backgrounds. And then when we're specific, right, mining it for comedy, there is comedy if you understand it. There's comedy if there's like a parallel.
Yeah.
Because like we have this thing in season 3 with this green oil that Andrew carries around. But like already in the trailer, people are like, oh, my family didn't have a green oil, we had a white oil. But it's like, it's this idea that like we share this experience.
Totally. And I think family in general, like that is such a universal theme that is relatable to everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think it's more so like I love just discussing us as like a family that exists in the world. And so yeah, I think that's like I think like that's kind of how I've been steering the conversations towards like the promotion of the show. It's just a great family that
it is.
everyone get behind.
I mean, I personally don't mind it because working as an actor for so long, usually like the parts that I would get for like South Asian roles or around like Indian folks, not always felt like I connected to them in the way that I was able to show up in this role.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it is kind of like, I totally understand what you mean because it sounds like it's being tokenized in a sense.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word. Yeah.
Sure, but I mean, like, I think, and I totally agree with you on that, but like, I feel so proud to be able to be in a comedy, like, play who I am, some aspects of myself, show up as myself, bring authenticity to it, and like also have those conversations with the writers. I remember in the first season, there was like in a script, Camille is like doing a catering gig, and there was like talk about them. They wanted to, the person all of a sudden canceled and asked her to make like hamburgers or something like not Indian food, and it was somewhere in the script. Oh, they're whitewashing the food, and then it was like pulled out, and I was like, no, we should call this out. This is what is happening in the story. I'm okay to say this.
Yeah.
I think she would say this.
Yeah.
I think she would say this to her friend who she's so close with, and in the relationship she has with her husband, where they're both racialized folks. So I think in a way, there is like a real positive note on that because like I can have those conversations. I can play that card and be like, can we put this back in, or
no,
can
and
I wear
love that.
this
And that's
thing?
what I'm saying. Like I love when the storytelling comes from us. Like it is
Totally.
so authentic because the people in the writer's room, the people behind the scenes that we don't see are the ones making the calls and the ones telling theirs. It's our story, right?
But like, that's how I feel. But I totally understand the other side of it too.
Sidebar 2, I have to say I love Note to Self.
Oh my God, thank you.
I like watched every single video. I think it is hilarious and like again so relatable, right? It's like there's oh my God.
I was in the kitchen the other day with all the aunties, and I had the same conversation in my head where everyone was cleaning up, and I'm like, everyone's just trying to busy themselves. No one wants to sit down.
Yes.
Because then they're going to get called out.
Totally, right? Oh my God, still. I had asked, we had spoken about this, Andrew. I wanted to ask you, Rocky, what was the moment when you knew this is something that you wanted to do? And were there any moments, maybe one particular, or, you know, maybe several where you felt like what I love to do is not so much reciprocated back at me?
Whoa, what do you mean by that? Like, like I'm not seeing. Yeah, okay.
Like it's like I always think of this quote, does your company love you as much as you love your company?
Right. Okay, so, and what was the first question?
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, I like went all over the place.
No, I can answer that one.
Yeah, more like that moment that you felt like you wanted this.
Yeah.
But then there's that other side, like, are you necessarily wanted, so to speak?
Well, it's an interesting thing because that's like when I started Note to Self, right? Like I was doing a lot of auditions that I didn't always resonate with me, or like how I felt or who I am. and like how I see myself like in the world and my friends and like the dumb conversations we have and the dumb people that we are together, and how we're not always like necessarily talking about being brown, but we are too. Like, you know what I mean? So like I just never saw that. And so and I was like always going out for mom roles, and like I know I'm play a mom, but like going out for like mom roles, but also like women roles that are super like reductive in many ways, or felt reductive in many ways, which is just like, honestly, if you ask any women actor, like that's just like part of it. Like you will see those parts, you will audition for them, and like it's kind of like it's this weird thing where you're kind of playing a game, because you're like, well, I know I got to do this to get to the next part, and it's like, you know, this is still a credit, this is still experience. It's like always leveling out these two pieces of like myself, where I'm like, okay, does this touch me? But also like, how can this move me forward so that I can work on my own sort of goals and stuff? And
what I love about Run the Burbs is, in that mom role, you're also very much a wife role. And like I was, you know, I had said before, I find it so refreshing, like those chats you guys have in bed at the end of the night. Like I love that. It feels so real. And again, like it brings you back to that core relationship.
Yeah. And I think like also it's just like she's so multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
Like she's an entrepreneur, she's like a mother, she's a wife, and like it's very much about how they all support each other. I think it's a really great representation, which is why I was also like drawn to the role, because I was like, how many dimensions can we add and layer into this?
And martial artist now.
Now I'm a martial artist.
Martial artist. Spoiler for season 3.
Watch season 3. Watch season 3.
Oh my god. Okay.
Plus I got to eat so much food on set because I was cooking all the time. Pakoras.
You weren't cooking.
Yeah, there was food around.
Yes.
I got to indulge.
Yes. I love that.
But yeah.
I forgot because I had food in my mouth.
It's cauliflowers.
So
good. The cauliflower.
Yeah, the cauliflower is so good.
Yeah. The momo is very good as well. The naan is also very good.
So basically everything is good. Oh, sorry. We are at Mantra.
Yeah.
In Shops at Don Mills. If you're in Toronto, you have to come check it out, because I love the fusionness of this. Fusionness?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Fusionness.
What are they fusioning?
Where does truffle oil come from?
Yeah. I don't know. It's fusion. It feels fusion.
Is it fusion of like Indian and like...
And Indian and other stuff.
And other?
Yeah, that's what fusion is.
Indian
it's like Indian
other.
plus.
Yeah.
Fusion is always
But
something
there's other,
plus.
yeah, it's always something plus. But and then the plus is like all because this
plus
is like
maybe cheese.
poutine. It's like Quebec.
Poutine, yeah.
Quebecois, and I don't know where the hell truffle oil comes from, because I'm not that cultured.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, it's lovely. It is
very lovely.
It's so
the
good.
food is totally lovely.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to ask you guys. 5 years from, like, I'm almost tired of hearing, like, not tired, but it's like, you know, diversity, equity, inclusion. Like, we talk about it so much that it almost feels, what's that word? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Meaning
like,
as much anymore?
yeah, which sucks, because it is so meaningful.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's such a long way to go still. How do we get, like, what do you think 5 years from now, what would be an ideal scenario for you in this whole realm of diversity, representation, inclusion? Like 5 years is like pretty close.
Like, what do I want?
Yeah.
I would like the end of capitalism. I would like the end of racism. But that's not the world we live in.
No, let's say in this industry. Because I feel like the more we talk about it, sometimes we're taking steps backwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, I think so. I think for me, what's been very eye opening is like, you need to put creatives from these communities in positions of power.
Yeah.
In order for any of this to exist, or for it to happen, or to be championed or created, you need to put creatives of color in positions of power. So whether as writers, as showrunners, executive producers, directors, top tier talent, right?
Yeah.
And so like oftentimes when you want to cast like a big special guest star that is a white character, you could rattle off a list of like 50 people. But when it's like a special guest star role of a character of color, then there's like you have a smaller list.
Yeah.
Let's grow that list.
Yes.
Give more people experience where when if they like whoever we cast will just crush it.
Yeah.
But I think it's power, and that's that's in any scenario we talk about.
And I think 100%. I think so. In my weird way of asking that, I think I would love to be at a place where it's not just like, oh, Andrew, Vietnamese actor. It's just like, no, Andrew, kick-ass actor. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, you know, we don't say like, oh, Brad Pitt, white, great actor. We just like Brad Pitt actor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what sort of.
Totally. That shift would be lovely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It would be lovely.
That would be lovely.
I will argue that like we're seeing that shift now because I you know, it's hard to say, but like if I think from my sense, when people think of me, they think of me as a good comedian, a good comedic actor. And I think it's the same for Raki and the work you've done with this show and your previous work. Like, it's just like, oh, she's an amazing actress. And so I think it's reflected on a show like this of just like when you put people like us in these positions and allow us scripts that like let us play and have fun, we'll crush it. And I feel that way about kind of every person we cast in the show. Like Jonathan Langdon or Ali Hassan, right? We give them Kimmy Trong, a Sharjil. You give them these fun scripts. They just crush it.
Yeah.
And sometimes for me, I'm just, you know, if there's like conversations at the monitor, I'm just like, just let them do it. Just let them try to figure it out because they'll crush it. But I think it's I think it's happening. We just need more of it. Now.
I honestly think that the missing piece, though, like, while I totally agree with that, is that there is like a lack of support, or that there needs, I don't want to say a lack of support, but there needs to be more support. The ideas are there, the ideas of like representation are there, but like the actual inclusion or like the actual funding or the actual like mentorship or support, like
the real actionable
the actual
items.
Real items. Like first season, I was struggling. I had no one to talk to. I had no one to go to. I had one person who, again, like I didn't have another woman that I knew that was like a racialized woman who had been in a leading lady kind of situation to be like, how do I do this? How do I navigate this conversation? Like I was all learning it, and I'm there now for other people, but it's like, oof, what I would have done for a little bit of mentorship, a little bit of support, that would have really been like so beautiful.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah, like there's not that. Like, you know what I mean? There's not that. The idea is there. Love the idea. Yeah, love the idea. Now you have to put your money where your mouth is and allow that support.
Yeah. And I think that's what you said. We just need essentially more of us doing
more of it,
all the things, and then it won't be a thing.
Yeah, and then people in leadership helping and guide those folks so that they can thrive, so that they're not getting burnt out or they're not, you know.
Yeah. What is the one thing that you think we as Asians do not talk enough about? Or the many things.
Different kinds of chai. I had a chai the other day that had fennel in it. I was like, what? I really, really like this.
Fennel chai?
There was fennel in it, but it was, you know what? It was one that was pre-made. Like it's like a powder one, which I did not know that was happening, but it's happening.
I make chai old school, like in like the pot and...
Yeah, this was at a restaurant. And they were like, is this fresh or pre-made? And they're like, pre-made. And I was like, I will try it anyways. And it had like a little bit of something in it. I'm loving it. So I think we need to be talking about the different kinds of chai.
Okay.
Different flavors, different... What do you put in yours?
In my chai? I actually hate... I'm not a tea drinker. I do make chai, like... Me and my husband live like 80-year-olds, kind of. Like, well, 5 o'clock, we watch the, like, real news live on cable. And I'll make him a cup of chai. I will have my 3rd cup of coffee for the day.
You have a 3rd cup of coffee at 5?
At 5. I can have a cup of coffee at 9 and go to bed. Yeah.
Coffee or like...
Coffee.
Oh, wow. Good on you.
I don't know. Is that bad? I don't know.
I can have like the quick coffee, like, you know, the...
No, mine's like Nespresso.
Yeah, Nespresso. No, like the one that's like, you add water to it and then...
Like instant?
Instant coffee?
Oh, don't go there.
Okay, I learned about it in the UK. So like...
Yeah.
After I learned about it.
Yeah. No, so
I don't mind it.
So I do make a pot nut for myself every day. And and we have tea time every Friday with my dad, which I think is super
nice.
I love that.
Yeah. And
that's
so...
nice.
Yeah. So I think we talk enough about tea in my house.
Okay.
What's the one thing that you think as Asians we're not talking enough about?
I think if it's like larger stuff, I think it's like our emotions, our mental health. I think that's probably like a bigger thing because I think like Asian parents, older Asian immigrants are like really guarded, they're protective, and so yeah, I think conversation around mental health probably could happen more, but that's like not just the Asian community, that's like any community. We should be talking about mental health more.
Yeah.
I'm constantly talking about mental health, constantly talking about what my therapist said.
Yeah.
She is dropping truth bombs all the time.
There is a lot of stigma in Asian communities about seeking help.
Totally, yeah.
Right?
And I assume there's probably lots of barriers, because if you do seek help, but there's a language barrier, where do you go?
Not even a language barrier. So I have a friend who is like going through a very intense grieving process, and she can't find a therapist that gets it. You know, she's like, my father's passed away, and they're like, yeah, you know, kind of just these are things to move on. And her relationship with her father is so different, she's like, I can't culturally connect with anybody that is helping me get through this grief, that understands our father-daughter relationship.
She's a brown one. I have a book for her. I have a book for her. Not problem solved at all, but like, it is really tough.
It's like the accessibility and also just finding the right people, the right fit.
And I think a larger issue on top of that is our healthcare system is underfunded, and so we can acknowledge that the problem is like not having enough supports, but if our whole healthcare system is underfunded, those supports will never come. And I think unfortunately it's what we're seeing now across this country, an underfunded healthcare system. So you know, the hope is that we can change that.
Underfunded. What about underwashed? Because you missed this part of the conversation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you wash your feet?
Do I wash my feet? Yeah, I wash my feet.
Okay, so all three of us wash our feet.
Do people not wash their feet?
Yeah. So do you remember, maybe it was last year, the year before, there was a whole conversation about people not washing their legs. And now it's resurfaced because Kelly Clarkson apparently doesn't wash her feet. And I don't know how it came up in conversation, but it did. And so, you know, I was just wondering, is it a cultural thing?
I don't know. Grade
feet
7,
washing?
I used to go to Wonderland, and like, I had to paint my toenails, so I was washing my feet. It started in grade 7.
That was so
when
specific.
I had to go to
Wonderland, grade 7. I don't understand the
pick up.
washing feet with painting your toenails.
I don't know. If you're painting your toenails, you're checking out your feet, and you're like, let me wash these feet as well. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's just like was taught to us, to me, to wash.
I started shaving my toes, so like I would
deep.
get down there and I clean my feet.
Yeah.
I would have to shave
I don't know.
my
I have one of
toes.
those like.
But if you don't shave your toes
pumice
every
stones
day,
or
are you
whatever.
cleaning your feet every day?
I have just like a general
weird
rhythm
dinner
movement where I just
conversation.
like where I rub the soap. It's just like a rub the body and then I'll.
Yes.
So it's like I clean my feet now. Like to the levels of how much we clean our feet probably would have variation and variety.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't sit down there and like get
I'd
down
say like
business.
I'm like a 1 out of 10. Like it's not my main.
I probably get down there,
focus.
I give like a one rub in between the toes and I move on.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I look, you know, at the end of the day, like I guess Kelly Clarkson's argument is if you're in the shower,
Your feet is like taking in all the soap and
yeah, it's getting the remnants of everything else
I
that's
don't know.
clean.
Kelly Clarkson, I think you should wash your feet.
Kelly Clarkson
love
can
you.
wash her
You
feet.
heard it
love you,
here,
and you're
Kelly
amazing,
Clarkson.
and you're an incredible.
Sending you
and
body
have so
wash.
much- you just hire someone to wash your feet, even like
That would
no.
be. Okay, so
Or wash you,
What
like, in
about
general.
Asians' feet and shoes? What would you do? Or maybe you do this if somebody stepped into your house, like walk right through, shoes on.
Oh,
I
I,
don't-
immediately tell people to take their shoes off.
But what if they just came through? This happened to me the other day.
Oh,
Like,
someone did that to you?
Somebody just like walked past the front door right into the kitchen with their shoes on.
Were they like they weren't like a family member? They weren't.
Okay, so now this is like super weird, and then she's gonna see this.
Yeah.
I have a friend who dyes my hair for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And so she came in the door, and then like she knows because
Yeah.
we do that in the kitchen, and she just like walked right through to the kitchen, and I was like,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what to say. Oh my god, I feel so weird. Like I've just revealed too
Well,
much.
how close are you? Because like if like
No,
one
but
of
what
my
if she watches this and she'll be like, holy
if
shit.
one of my friends did, I'd be like, "Yo, Derek, take off your shoes, man. What are you doing?" I would just say it straight up.
I didn't have it in me, and I just let her
Okay,
walk
well, now
through.
she knows.
She knows.
Now she knows.
Or is it the offer of like, hey, can I get you some sandals or some slippers to slip into? Like, is that like a passive aggressive way of getting into it?
That's good. I think I would do that because I'm a people pleaser. I don't want to upset her, and I'm like, she's gonna dye my hair.
I am proud of this. I will say that 30% of the conversation on set in that living room set is getting shoes off and on. In the,
Oh my God, really?
Is like that's a
love that.
big director's note of like we have to time the shoes.
How are we gonna get the shoes on and off?
Yeah. It's often or like we have to mime it a lot.
Yeah.
We have to just even do the wiggle.
Yeah.
And I remember in season 1 when Jonathan walked in the house, they took off his shoes. The amount of tweets being like, "Your friend took off his shoes as he came into the house."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oh. Sorry. I would be terrible, like live TV. I'm like, oh.
The monitor, the lights going.
Yeah. Okay. We talked about shoes. We talked about feet. We have had a lot of foot conversation.
Well, not we. You have initiated a lot of
sorry.
your segue from our declining mental our healthcare system was like, speaking of healthcare, your feet. Like your transitions are smooth right into feet.
Yeah. What can I say? I love a good toe.
I think more so what we've helped you realize is that you have to have a conversation with someone very close to you about their shoe in the house situation.
And that
we're here to help you. If you need us to come over,
I may or may
do it.
not need a new hairdresser after this.
Oh no, I'm sure.
No, it'll be fine.
Be fine.
I find that a lot of times when you bring something up, a lot of people are just like, "Oh shit, I forgot." Like you know, and maybe whatever their health state was at, maybe they were so worried about getting something in the house, or they just genuinely weren't thinking. I just believe the best in people, and so like I think it's like worth just pointing out something. Yeah.
Suddenly, this feels like a therapy session for me, which is weird, but we did it. We made it happen. Okay, thank you, Mantra, for this great food. What do you want to say? This was our first taping. Like, you guys are our first, so that's why I'm a bit of a hot mess here.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having us.
As we've discussed earlier, before Raki was here, hot mess is funny sometimes, and that's just the joy of comedy.
I can be funny.
Yeah.
I was saying I'm not funny, and can you teach me funny?
And I was like, you can't teach funny. You unlock funny. So I think everyone is funny when they find out who their voice is.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Unlock the funny. Run the Burb, season 3.
And I will say, the kids this season are so funny. Like, I was watching a cutback today of the kids, and like, this cast has just stepped it up so much.
It's a great cast. It is a great cast.
That's a wicked cast.
Yeah.
Every season, every scene, I'm always like, and like when I know it's coming, I'm like, they're gonna do this thing, and it's so funny. So I'm just so proud of the show and everything we've done with it and the stories we tell this season. So thank you for having us on.
Thanks, guys. That was great. Let's finish eating.
Okay.
Okay.